Let's talk about Marvel Rivals and what has been my experience so far since almost a month of the game coming out. We're gonna be talking about the good, the bad, the mid, and what are some of the things that I like and enjoy about the game, as well as some of the things that I did not like. From the perspective of someone that does not do a competitive scene, from someone that play Overwatch since the Go era and has fallen out of love to playing Overwatch to start it when I started playing Marvel Rivals. I hated the game and now I'm actually enjoying it. So, what has changed? What I saw different? We're gonna go over some of these things today. Okay, let's talk about why I hated the game first or when it began. So, first impression was as soon as I start playing Marvel Rivals, within the first couple of matches, I won't say I was not even 10 matches in, within the first 3 to 5 matches, give or take, I saw the game as a straight up Overwatch clone, which obviously right now that is a very different thing because I have now enjoyed the game. But from the initial perspective was kind of like a first brick wall that I hit where it's like, wow, I feel like I'm just playing Overwatch. I'm not getting the enjoyment out of this game. So one of the things I did not enjoy was just like the map design itself, how the map is perceived as a player or as a character itself. So making the direct comparison to Overwatch where you're playing as a hero and you're in that first person mode, the map scale to the characters feels a lot more believable in a sense. I feel like I was actually inside the world of Overwatch. Now compared to Marvel Rivals, which is not a bad thing, I do feel like I'm in a third person perspective. I feel like I'm controlling a small miniature. Maybe it's part of it because of how the characters are designed, but also how the map is designed itself. Needless to say that if you come from a game of a first person shooter going over to Marvel Rivals, there's a little bit of adjustment that you need to do on your own at that point if you enjoy that kind of perspective of gameplay. Now, after going over some of the matches, and actually after my fifth, seventh match, give or take, I started finding the actual magic of Marvel Rivals that I was actually liking. Some of the things that I enjoy at the very beginning is that after a while, I was actually having fun with the game. Not only how the game is played in a team aspect and playing with friends, but also I was able to play the game on my own and I was having fun. So it was not like other games, obviously, going back to Overwatch, where I'm like, hey, I love Overwatch. I used to enjoy it a lot and it was fun. However, even if I was playing with friends or on my own, after 3 or 4 matches, I felt like I did an 8 hour shift at work where I was like, Jesus Christ, I am tired. So with Marvel Rivals, I do 5, 7, 8. I lose track of time, man. I'm like, yo, I'm still playing this and I'm having fun. And that's kind of very important. That is just, and that's like the main thing about a game. It's supposed to be fun, it's supposed to be enjoyable. The other thing that I enjoyed was from the very beginning of the game since I started was the actual character synergy that they have with each other, or the team up as they refer it to abilities. It is a way that you can get a bonus in not telling anyone else to tell them like, hey, we need you to change to this. Now, if we play as a team and you change into this other composition or into this other character, we both benefit. And it's kind of like a good way to have it implemented. It's a way to tell your teams where it's like, hey, if you do this, we actually get a benefit of each other. So it's a good way to tell the game is telling you that if you play as a team and you go with the composition or the team up ability, we all benefit from it. So it's a good way to saying that, or it's implied at that point. It's not like you're telling the other person, hey, can you change to X or Y character? Obviously, winning matches, you're still going to experience sometimes those, but it feels like a good way to kind of like imply like maybe if you play Hulk, we can do this, or if you play another character, we can do that. Now let's talk a little bit of regards to our rosters of characters that we have. We have 33 characters in game currently at this moment in time. January 6th, we are expecting to have an update, which we're going to have 4 new characters. Now, talking about the roster itself, is pretty good. It's pretty diverse. However, we do have characters that are close range and also long range. So I did like that we're beginning with a big roster from the beginning. When you start the game, you have vanguards, you have duelists, and you have strategists. These are the 3 classes that the characters can be diverse or into. Vanguard being your tank kind of character, duelist being your DPS mainly, and your strategist being your healers of sorts. However, as you continue to progress in the game, you feel like some of these characters kind of interwove with each other. Some of them do feel like a mix between one or two. Iron Fist being one of them, where it does a healing of itself. And some of these characters are tank, but they don't even have a shield. They are tanky in nature, but they do not offer like a defensive comparison to other. So there's a little bit of that as well here. And one of the things to think about at the beginning of the game is that some of these characters don't really show like they fit on their respective roles. Rocket Raccoon, you would think that he might be a DPS because of the amount of weaponry that he has or use. Someone as Black Panther, I may have seen it as an actual tank because his whole thing is that he attacks with or charges kinetic energy. So he might have been able to suit as a role of attack more than other characters. It will have make sense. But obviously, this is all subjected to opinion based on what you know about the Marvel world, as well as in regards to what you expect of some of these characters. However, some of the other things that I did enjoy of the game is in regards to some of the special event games so far that we have seen. Obviously, we only have seen the one for Jeff, which I did actually enjoy. It was kind of fun that you're able to play around with Jeff, or with a group of Jeff at that point, and kind of have like a Splatoon gameplay, which I thought was something very different from what we have gotten from other hero shooters. So I did like the event itself. It was something new. It was something innovative. Hopefully, we are able to see more special events like these where it changes the aspect or it gives you a different way, something to have fun at the end of the day. So, going from some of the things that are good, I think some of the things that I consider bad are that even though it is a brand new game, because a lot of the people that used to play Overwatch or other hero shooters are trying the game, feel like some of those toxic players ended up being moved over to this one. So even though it's less, because I have not gotten the experience that much, there's still a little bit of toxic player base. But that's something that you don't really have a control on. There's 2 aspects that I wish that they change in the game itself. One of them is kind of cool that you do have an MVP and an SVP, most valuable player and second valuable player at that point. But I wish that their highlights of the game match would play out automatically instead of me having to just click on it. So I wish something like that could be done maybe in the future, as well as in regards to the second best player. So if I lose a match and there's a second best player in my team, I wish that their highlight play out automatically. It will be something cool. It will be like, hey, we lost, but hey, this guy did still something cool. So it's kind of a good idea, I think. As well as in regards to the other thing that I don't know how you can maybe fix something like that. I feel like some of the impact of the ultis are kind of weak. And let me explain. And yes, I'm going to be making back the comparison back to Overwatch, where some of these ultis, when you do hit them, not all of them, but some, like Reinhardt, Senora, Ana, Genji, Pharah, these ultis, when they're attacking, maybe some other ones, they feel very impactful. They feel like very game changing. Like you change the tide of a battle when it's being implemented and it is hit. Let's make that clarification. Now, within Marvel Rivals, I'm not sure if it's because all characters feel broken in their own respective way, but you can hit an ulti and sometimes it just feels like just another ability that was active. It doesn't feel like this very game changing attack. It just feels like, okay, cool, we landed this or we didn't hit it and we just move on. It doesn't become this glorified moment on it. Like, just why? And it feels like it's because all characters feel like they're equally as broken in their own unique ways. So that's why I think when you do a ulti, it doesn't feel like you have the same impactful thing going on. Not saying that all ultis are not impactful because, for example, Luna Snow, you do a ulti and that could be a clutch moment. But I feel like the impactful moment when the ulti is activated, it feels like it's a lot more lessened compared to the other hero shooters. So one of the other things I would like to actually see getting implemented is more game modes. Right now, I think we only have just the two, which is actually like the push and as well as in regards to the capture. So obviously with the limitation of maps, I feel like I have played the same map like 2 or 3 times in a row with the same game mode. So a little bit more variation on that. It will be kind of good for the game. Obviously, a lot of these things and a lot of these opinions are coming back from the base of playing Overwatch for the last couple of years or so. But I have enjoyed this game. This game has become something that I hated and then has become something that is enjoyable. So there is more room to improve, and I'm actually loving this game to the point where I don't need to be streaming it. I don't need to be playing it with friends. I can play on my own, and I think that's something that is very important to always take note. Again, let's talk about the Battle Pass. To go straight to the point, I think the Battle Pass should be self-paying, meaning that if I pay it once, I would like to earn the points or the in-game currency to be able to get the Battle Pass again and again, kind of like Fortnite does. Skins are okay, the emotes are okay, and some of the other currencies that we get, that's fine. But I would like the Battle Pass to actually be self refilling itself instead of having to constantly make it buying it out. Like I want to have the choice that if I have made a purchase because I like a skin enough because of the points, then well that's on me. I need to pay now again the battle pass. I don't want to have to pick and choose my battles there. I would like either I pay one thing or the other. The other thing is in regards to the weekly challenges and the challenges within some of these characters. Daily missions look okay with the amount of damage that you do. Um, the weekly, some of them feels like they take forever because you need to use a specific character instead of a specific class, which it forces you to learn new characters, which is okay. Now, some of the other abilities within the event that was going on was a little bit absurd, where it's like, oh, you need to do X damage with X character on this specific map. I thought that was kind of like a little bit too much of a nuisance because sometimes I don't even get the map. And I think that is something that could use a little bit more balancing maybe in future events. Because I remember the event for the Hydra map, and little did I know I could have played 10, 12 matches, and if I got the map once or maybe twice, it was a lot. So I think those are like just little things that could be using a little bit of tweaking. It's not game destroying, it's just, some tweak here and there. To put the final ribbon in regards to this opinion in place, I do not play competitive at all. I know that the competitive scene compared to the quick play, it is very different. I cannot make that comparison at all. Maybe in the future, based on the amount of funds that I've been having with this game, I might start to put or dip my toes in the competitive gameplay to see if my opinion changes. But I think this game is fun. It is enjoyable. Obviously, there's going to be matches which you will dominate and we will become almost one-sided. And there's going to be matches where you get fully destroyed. It will happen. And there's still issues within the game with regards to FPS and other things where hopefully they fix them soon rather than later. But within the 1 month the game has been out, I have gotten more enjoyment out of it compared to other hero shooters which had been active for years. Now, hopefully, we are continuing to receive this good quality and experience and new characters being implemented because the Marvel universe is ginormous. So we're going to be getting characters for a very, very long time, hopefully. So the last thing that we will need to discuss here is, will this be the Overwatch killer? And I think we are in a situation where it might become that or it might not. It's really going to depend what Blizzard does with Overwatch. I think there's some good ideas here that Overwatch can maybe take away from. And one of them being the whole team up ability. Because the lore of the characters in Overwatch is so big in the sense that we know who used to work with who is friends with who. And I think, and because they also came in the same group, so I think we can have something like this being implemented. Will it work? That's a different question. I really hope it does. Because at the end of the day, I would love Overwatch to continue. Because Overwatch existing and making good things will also make this game continue to be better. If we do not have a direct competition to something like Overwatch, or to something in this case to Marvel Rival, they may become complacent and let it be. And maybe even ignore the voice of the people. But if we Overwatch improve in their quality and actually make things better now, because there's a direct competition, even though I think both games are very differently in their own way, we might be able to get the best of both worlds of a Marvel Rivals and an Overwatch. At least that's the main idea, hopefully. So I think to kind of summarize everything, Marvel Rivals has been a very fun experience. I would definitely recommend for you to play it. If you do not like playing games on your own, get some friends to play with, and it is a good fit for everyone. I think this is a good fit that you can play it on console and on PC respectively and have a good time. I will leave you with this final thoughts. What are your opinions of the game? What do you think? What you like? What you dislike? Drop it on the comment section below. And if anything, follow me on the social medias below. You can follow me on Twitch, which I normally am streaming between Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and some Saturdays. Follow me on X and on Blue Sky. I'm available there, as well as drop a sub on YouTube. I'm gonna be trying to implement a little bit more videos like these. Not sure how often they're gonna be, but I am gonna be trying to work on a few of them as we continue to go on over the year. Some of the New Year's goals resolution, call it. So yeah. Anyways, guys, I'll let you be. Take care. Love y'all, and see you on the next video or stream. Bye bye.